Every October, we love our witches. Pointy hats, flying brooms, a cauldron full of questionable soup. But the truth behind the witch costume is way darker. Before Halloween turned them into party icons, witches were real people, mostly women, who were tortured, drowned, burned, and accused of causing everything from bad crops to ugly babies. Tonight on Historical Hot Messes, we're traveling back through time to revisit the witch hunts the world forgot. From medieval Europe to modern Africa. And trust me, this one's more terrifying true crime than pumpkin spice. The witch hunt didn't start in Salem. It started in Europe. In the late 1400s, the church published a cheerful little bedtime read called Malleus Maleficarum, or the Hammer of Witches. It claimed witches could fly, curse cows, and steal men's, vitality. The book became a medieval bestseller, and suddenly, everyone from your weird neighbor to your midwife could be branded a witch. Between the 1500s and 1700s, tens of thousands, mostly women, were executed across Germany, France, Scotland, and Switzerland. One historian called it Europe's longest-running panic attack. And they weren't wrong. See, witch trials weren't just about fear. They were about money. Accuse a neighbor. Seize their land. Find a few witch marks, and you suddenly own their goats. And towns didn't exactly discourage it. Professional witch hunters, yes, that was a real job, traveled from village to village, offering their services for a fee. Imagine a medieval MLM where the product is paranoia. Evidence? Optional. Logic? Also optional. If you floated in water, you were a witch. If you sank, you were innocent and dead. Basically, the justice system was run by people who failed science and empathy. One infamous case in Würzburg, Germany, saw 600 people executed in less than a decade, including children accused of turning milk sour. Because nothing says evil sorcery like slightly spoiled dairy. Let's fast forward to Sweden, 1668, where kids started claiming witches were flying them to parties with the devil. Authorities panicked. Trials spread. Over 300 people were accused, and at least 71 were executed. Mostly women, and yes, a few unlucky men. Historians later called it the children's witch panic. Because, surprise, the kids made it up for attention. Even back then, teenagers knew how to go viral. By the time the famous Salem witch trials hit Massachusetts in 1692, Europe had been doing witch hunts for centuries. Salem's body count, 20, was tragic. But compared to Europe's tens of thousands, it was a late-stage remix. Still, Salem left its mark because it became America's favorite cautionary tale. What happens when fear, religion, and gossip go to prom together? Here's the truly haunting part. Witch hunts never actually ended. In parts of Africa, India, and Papua New Guinea, accusations of witchcraft still destroy lives, especially of women, widows, and outsiders. In some cases, entire villages exile or kill accused witches even today. So while the Western world was busy making witches Halloween mascots, real people elsewhere were still dying under the same ancient fears. But here's the twist. Witches made a comeback. By the 20th century, the word witch transformed from slur to symbol. Feminists, artists, and neo-pagans reclaimed it as a badge of independence and rebellion. What was once a death sentence became an identity. Today's witches brew tea, read tarot, and post on TikTok about boundaries and astrology. Frankly, they're doing great. So, what do we learn from centuries of witch hunts? 1. Mass hysteria spreads faster than reason. 2. Power mixed with fear makes people do stupid and deadly things. 3. And sometimes, the monsters we hunt were never monsters at all. Witches weren't the villains of history. They were the scapegoats for it. So this Halloween, when you see a witch's hat, remember, behind that costume was a woman who just wanted to survive a world terrified of her power. Thanks for watching Historical Hot Messes. Like, subscribe, and join us next week. Because trust me, history has plenty more skeletons in its closet, and some of them are still on fire.